Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, guys.
You guys are playing some good hockey this last week. What's been the change?
Uh, Not a lot. Like we're doing a better job. I think pucks are going in for us now. So capitalizing and finishing, we get 7 and 8 in back-to-back games. Even the Tampa game, we give up those early goals, but we're able to score. I think we had 3 in that game. Columbus 5. So the scoring and the finishing on our opportunities, the volume of opportunities is relatively the same as it's been all year. We're just finishing at a higher rate, and I think special teams too has helped just a little bit. We win that battle the other night against Columbus, so finding ways to win games where it was sort of going the other way early in the year.
Hey, Coach Carbs, let's rewind a bit. Take us through the scene pregame in Montreal when Dylan Strome learns that his wife has gone into labor back here in Virginia. How did that all unfold? And what's it like for you trying to manage the upcoming game with the emotional state that you know Dylan and his teammates are going to be in at that point? Take us through that.
Yeah. So I knew obviously, there was a due date that was approaching. And so I actually, it's funny, we have a lot of children or babies that will be delivered this season. So I keep them on my calendar just to keep in the back of your mind that, hey, this player may miss a game or need to go back home if you're on the road. And so I knew this was upcoming and the due date was not actually until next week. So, but they sort of tipped me off, and Stromer said, it looks like it's probably going to come a little bit early. So I knew kind of, what was going on, but he, said, I'm going to travel to Montreal. It doesn't look like there's, she's going to deliver. And then that changed quickly so I had an idea going into the road trip and that, but didn't think anything of it. We play Edmonton at home. We get on the plane, we fly to Montreal, and then right before the game, I was notified by our head athletic trainer that Dylan's wife Taylor was going into labor, and so this was like right before warm up, and he was going to tell Dylan, and Stromer was going to FaceTime with her, and there was nothing we could do at that point to get him back. There was no flights that could get him out, and so it was play the game and get him home as quickly as possible and see if she had delivered by then. And then in the intermission, found out that it was a very quick delivery and she delivered a baby girl, and Stromer was a father for the third time.
Very
Crazy.
cool. Hey, I think it was last week, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, we talked to you about Ryan Leonard and his propensity to take penalties and playing time. Since then, he's had a 2-goal game. I know he had a game where he drew a couple more penalties. What have you seen from him on the ice?
Yeah, he's sort of, since we talked last, exactly kind of what you guys were pointing out, is a little bit more opportunities, moved up lines. He's playing a little bit more. He's worked his way onto playing some more power play minutes, and it's good because, like we talked about then, he's earning opportunity. He's growing his game. He continues to get a little bit better with the details inside of his game, with and without the puck. And then you're also seeing, like you saw in that game where he finishes, he's still making 2, 3, 4, 5 really, really high end elite offensive plays, which he has the capability of doing on a nightly basis. So it's been a good progression. Again, it's not going to, he's all of a sudden not going to be playing 20 minutes, and it's still going to be a process for him, but he's earned some more opportunity and doing well with that opportunity.
One thing I've noticed, I think the other night when you guys scored 5, 4 of the goals were defensemen. Then I saw your Capitals PR staff put out the number. Capitals defensemen have combined for a league-leading 19 goals this season. How important is that you're getting production from the backline guys?
Yeah, the back end, I mean, I feel like that last year and then this year has really taken a step, and we try to make that a staple inside of our identity, inside of our game, as our D being a big part. It's a strength of our team, and not only defensively, but also offensively, of their ability to help us create offense. And so that's what you've seen. And it's been really especially over the last few games as we found our stride offensively and finishing, and pucks are ending up in the back of the net. They've been right there at the forefront, sort of leading the way with some of our forwards, with Chicky and John and Marty and Rasmus Sandin and Matt Roy doing an excellent job of helping us create more offense and also finishing, especially when we've needed it early in the season.
How about Chicky and Carly? You just touched on them, setting a franchise record for fastest back-to-back goals by defensemen in the win over Columbus, just 12 seconds apart.
Unbelievable, yeah. That at the end of the period as well, which was, and that game was tight. Felt like we were playing really well. 1-0 for first period. Well into the second period, we get the second goal. And then bang at the end of the period, like you just touched on, 12 seconds apart, 3 and 4, which basically ices the game at that point to get us into the second intermission with a 4-0 lead. But those two goals, the one on the power play from Chicky and then John's face-off goal were big 12 seconds in the game to essentially seal the win.
Coach, I saw some of the quotes from Logan Thompson after the Columbus game, basically saying glad that you have faith in him after the poor start against the Lightning where you had to take him out of the game. You go right back to him a few days later against Columbus, plays a great game, stops 22 of 23 shots in a division win. How tough of a call is that for you to go right back to Logan, or does in the back of your brain, are you like, do I tab Chucky here? Like, what's that back and forth like between goalies when one has a poor start?
You absolutely could have gone the other way. And we thought about that. We talked about it as a staff. We considered both options because there's two ways of looking at it. One is give him a breather and let Chucky play the next game, and give him another night off and then let him get back. And the other school of thought, which we ultimately ended up going with, is it was just one sort of bad period where we didn't play very well in front of him. Pucks ended up going in the back of the net, get him right back in there because he has been playing so well this season. So you can kind of go two ways. There's not one right answer for every situation. We felt like at this point in the year, with where we're at, with LT, how he's played, we felt like getting him right back in there as quickly as we could was the best plan, and credit to him for him responding and playing excellent against Columbus, and especially early. Like I said, that game was tight, so any of those big saves that he makes in the first or second period make that game 1-1. It sort of changes it. Now, you're going, maybe it's 2-1 going into the third or what have you, but I thought he played well and did a nice job of rebounding from the Tampa game.
Coach, how would you characterize the way the season has gone so far? Because I'm trying to, in my brain, I'm trying to characterize you guys, and I'm going, are these guys good? Or what the heck's going on? Because you guys, it's kind of streaky. Is this a normal sort of ebb and flow? But it's like you get off on a hot start, then you lose like 3 out of 4. Then you win a few, and then you lose 3 out of 4. And then it's like, wow, this has been kind of a streaky season.
Big time. So what's funny, and I'm like, because we had that, we start really well. I think we started 6-2, and then we went through a real struggle stretch right after that, and have kind of picked it up since then. But and the league is around the league. I'll just talk about the Eastern Conference. It is crazy tight, crazy. I've never seen it like this. Like where you go 1 to 16. There's 16 teams in the Eastern Conference, 16 in the West.
Yeah.
So the 16 teams in the East are separated by it's insane. I've never seen it like this to start in my limited time in the league, but for us, as crazy as this sounds, I feel like from start game 1 to game 23, our game, even though the results haven't, like I just talked about, our game has been pretty solid throughout. Like we've done a good job of controlling play, the things that we want to do at the end of the night that show that we outplayed our opponent. We've checked majority of those boxes for majority of the season. Now, you got to do some things, whether it's special teams, whether it's finishing, all that stuff to gain points. And then, so I would characterize it as sort of an up and down. And then I looked at something last night, just crazy. I'm like, we are number 1 in goal differential in the Eastern Conference. We're tied with Carolina at +13.
That's crazy.
And I was like, it doesn't feel like that. You know what I mean? It does not feel like we're leading the Eastern Conference in goal differential. And then I looked at regulation wins, and we are leading. We're tied with Florida, number one, 11 regulation wins in the Eastern Conference. So it just is sort of, I was looking at that and going, gosh, it doesn't really feel like that, similar to what you just said. But we are doing a lot of good things, and it's on us to just continue to build our game and improve in those areas like special teams and some certain areas to gain more points and find ways to win more games.
Coach, real quick, you've got Winnipeg next. That's tonight. Then you've got Toronto on Friday. So that leaves Thanksgiving open. What's a Carbery Thanksgiving look like at home?
And let me follow up on that real quick. Is there room on the Carbery Thanksgiving table for mac and cheese? Our producer argues it's too commonplace and doesn't have a spot at the table. What is your take there?
Okay. Part one is, so we practice. We're going to have a light practice tomorrow on Thanksgiving, just because we play an earlier game, so we can't pregame skate on the Friday. So we'll just light skate tomorrow. But when I get home, the in-laws, all family, sister-in-law, they're all in town. So we'll do a nice Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow night with my family and my wife's family. And mac and cheese is a no-go for me at the Thanksgiving table.
I'm with you.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay.
It's a no-go.
Does Coach Carbery prepare one thing?
Yeah.
You know what? I love Brussels sprouts with cheese sauce.
Nice.
Okay.
Anything with cheese is good.
Yeah,
But do you
all,
prepare it, or do you just wait and your wife does it all?
I contribute.
Look at that.
Can you cut?
Yeah.
Can you cut a turkey?
Carve.
Carve or whatever it's called.
I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm a connoisseur and excellent at it, but I can. I'm great in cleanup duty.
Right.
I'm contributing.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Contributor.
Coach.
That's all.
Hey,
you can
happy
ask for.
Thanksgiving.
He's a role player.
Yeah.
Okay.
Happy Thanksgiving, and keep it going. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys, too.
All right.
Thanks,
Appreciate it,
Coach
buddy.
Spencer
Thank you.
Carbery, Caps head coach. He's presented by the Centers for Advanced Orthopedics. More physicians, more locations, more advanced care centered around one thing. You visit CFAortho.com.